Hello, thanks for dropping in. Some time ago, I had a monitor that was kind of yellow that I did tidy up with a magic eraser. But I hadn't had a chance to test it, and it's funny, I've got so much sort of tinkering and tidying and sorting to do here. And I also have a couple of cables I wanted to test. And, you know, the thing I never really liked about this monitor is I was never really as pleased with the colors as on the 1701 and 1702. I just wasn't. Anyway, after some gathering of things and stuff and whatever, I did manage to find enough here to test this monitor with. So I will turn on the 64. And up it comes. Lovely as can be. And I don't have access right now to my testing thing. I'm still tidying and gathering. The secret is, what I need to really do is have my work area, work on something, do whatever, and get it out of there. The things seem to accumulate, as you may have noticed. For example, there's the 1520 plotter up there, which I tested the other day, and it's, even though brand new in the box, never used, never opened, never accessed, it's dead. But I'm not giving up on it yet. And somewhere, oh, I guess I moved the Hush 80. Anyway, so here we have an 1802 missing the door. The front doesn't look terrible. There's more yellowing towards the back, but it does seem to be working okay, and that's a good thing. Hello, Penny, how are you doing? Yes, I know. So, for the moment, I will test it. It's funny, I did have another video cable here. Excuse me for a second. Where is the one? Is that the one that's connected? It is not. They had, of course, and I know you can't see this, but I'll tell you anyway. The original 64's video had 5 pins, and then they switched to 8. And I remember somebody at Commodore tried to tell me how much better it was with the 8. Well, I'm not sure. It was just trying to get some of this, some of the sparkly 64s off the market. Anyway, in testing these things, I did find. Oh, and by the way, sorry. A 5-pin cable will work fine in an 8-pin 64, but of course an 8-pin cable will not. Well, I was testing these things out because there's a fellow I met not so long ago who I found out of the blue. He's just opened up his Commodore 64 and is tinkering, but is finding the picture isn't great through the RF modulator. I said, well, don't worry, I'll take care of the cable anyway. So I was testing this cable, and I looked in, and I thought, oh yeah, it's a 5, that'll be fine with anything. And then I looked more closely, and somebody has indeed, it was an 8, and they butchered it. They did. So I'm sure it will work fine on anything, and it actually has the Commodore logo embossed on it, and so you know that the colors will match up what's on the back of the monitor, whereas some of the other ones will not. Anyway, I'm pretty sure I'm going to give this fellow the other cable that I have working in here that is up on this monitor, and it's just dandy. So this monitor, I wish I had the door, but I don't. Oh well. I've never really been fond of these. One thing, though, I am going to do before deciding that it is time to go and all, to make sure that I'm sure that I like it, is from what I remember on these, when hooked up to a 64, I was never as pleased with the picture. But if you hook them up to a DVD or a VCR, the picture is quite wonderful. So I think I will find one of those two things to just connect in and look at the screen and make sure that the colors are all good, because I don't want to sell something that is deficient or defective. I would rather sell something that is exactly as advertised and delightful. Yes. Anyway, in front of me is a very dirty 64, but it seems to be working. I have not run any diagnostics. Hello, Penny. How are you doing? Penny is at my feet. Sorry. Anyway, there's one other thing on here, and that is a label from ComSpec, Computers Communications Service. ComSpec was one of the Commodore dealers in Toronto. They started off as communication specialists, where they sold CB radios and scanners, and some of them were somewhat modified that maybe they weren't exactly to the specifications that they should have been, which probably means they could listen in on the police. Anyway, just the other day, last week as it happens, the fellow who was the man behind ComSpec was he was the guest at the monthly TPUG Zoom meeting. So if you go to the TPUG Facebook area, sooner or later, hopefully sooner, the meeting will be there. I think they do that so people can listen in. I missed the first half hour, and that was probably the part where he was talking about the beginning of ComSpec and things that they did. The reason they have these, or this one has this label on here, either it was sold by them, or they did an awful lot of work for the boards of education. And they made all kinds of things. I mean, they made good things. They made very professional looking things, and they worked. And yeah. Anyway, even this label, I'm not even going to try and get it off. It's not like a mailing sticker. It's like metal. It's like got some serious adhesive. And besides, it's part of the story of this machine, wherever it came from, wherever it went. I don't know exactly why this one has the green tape on here and the blue tape on here, except I figure that at some point somebody was using it for some sort of game, and these were the keys that were important. Anyway, the whole thing I wanted to do was just make sure the monitor works, and indeed the monitor works. And hello, Penny, and I have lots of monitors to test. Right, Penny? Yes, Penny is wandering about. Penny? Yes, I hear you, Penny. Yes, Penny is scratching on the box. So, monitor works, but I do want to check it out to make sure that it is lovely in some other fashion. So, that is good. Let me just grab this here, if it will come here. It will not come here. Anyway, on the back of Commodore monitors such as this, there are, I think, 3 ways to send signals into it. There's a switch on the front that lets you pick which one. I have picked the separate, which separates the chroma and the luma. That is supposed to give a slightly better picture. But if you are going to a modern television, that may not be possible. Keep in mind, I mean, it's best to have things turned off when you plug things in and test things and such. But I've never had hooking up to a monitor cause me grief, misery, or anything going wrong. But if you do have a Commodore cable, the colors on the cable should match the input colors on the back of the monitor. If you have a non-Commodore cable, they may not. So you might have to tinker around, and I always found it's not a bad thing to take a Sharpie and kind of mark them so that you know what you're up to. Anyway, monitor still seems to be working. If I had something more exciting to do here, I would. I suppose I could write a little program, or I could poke 53280, oops. Oh, what happened to the comma? And change. Oh, that did not work. Poke 53280, and left out a character. I guess the key. I did not hit the right key. That will change that. And then 53281, 0 will change that. And then I can change the cursor, and instead of typing list, I could type in lost, and I could do edit a program. Yeah, the keyboard is, besides looking kind of dirty on the top, it needs some work inside. So there, when you do things like this, you can look and see how things are centered or not, and there are switches, things for a screwdriver that you can do. Maybe I will do one because I sense. What kind of screwdriver this is? Yes, I sense that this could be. Yeah, the horizontal positioning is off. So I'm going to take this little screwdriver and give it a little twist to get that centered. The vertical seems okay. That's just a little slot head screwdriver, because the controls on the front are basically volume, tint, color, contrast, brightness, and then there's vertical height, horizontal position, and vertical hold. And it's funny, with one of these monitors many, many years ago, when I actually worked for Electronics 2001, which was at the time part of ComSpec, someone had brought in their monitor, and it had actually been sent out to Commodore, and the reason they brought it in, it was there's some funny line down the side. They didn't like that. So it was sent out to Commodore and came back, and then they said, oh yeah, it's fine. And it was, fixed under warranty, but they came back and said, it's still got the same line. What's up with this? So I said, well, hang on. I was not involved in the original part of it. So I hooked it up in the store and looked at it, and the guy said, yeah, see that line? And I said, oh, look at that. There's a little line there. So he went off and looked at things. I said, well, let me have a look. So I am not a monitor fixer. I am not. But I did take a tiny screwdriver and tweak, I think it was the, I think it was the horizontal position, and it gave it the slightest little tweak, and guess what? That line, which was barely visible, but it was there, went away. And I called him over and I said, how's that? He said, that's good. So, sometimes solutions are difficult, and sometimes not so difficult. Oh, the phone keeps making noises. Anyway, I'm going to leave this here to sort of test and do things. And there it is. Commodore. And that's it. You know what? Looking at it there in the black thing, it could be. It's actually a little bit too bright. Yeah, that looks better. See it there. Yep. The nice thing about these settings on the monitors is once you pretty much have them set, you really don't have to do anything. And in the middle of the four, if you move them back and forth a bit, you can feel a little something right in the middle. And that may not be exactly where you want it, but at least you know, oh yeah, I'm in the middle. So if you set everything at the middle, and then tweak from there, the results are usually pretty okay. Anyway, that's enough for now. Thanks for coming. Thanks for seeing this 1802, that it is in fact working. And stay tuned. You never know what I will tinker on next. I do, as I've said, I need to gather and get this original pet together with others so I can really figure out what's going on with all of them and then see what's what. I do. Anyway, I have a lot to do, and as you can see, as I say, when I start working on things start to pile up. I need to stop that. I need to start with a clean slate, have the things I need handy, such as a meter, screwdriver, other such things, and when I'm done, move it out. Get it out. Yes, that's what I need to do. And I will start trying to do that. Anyway. Alright, Penny. Penny, we're done, Penny. So, thanks for coming.
That was easy.
I intend to start to do a series of videos on some of the DOS commands that you can do using Basic 2 and a Commodore 64. Because some of them I'm not even that familiar with, but I think it's important, especially for people who are new to this, so they don't do something that they regret, like format a disk, or new a disk, or something of that nature. Anyway, stay tuned. Always a pleasure. Bye for now.